Welcome to Vegas Hockey Hub here in the sports entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada, on PRCampusRadio.com, the voice of the. So, the Vegas Golden Knights out there in the NHL, the main white spot, the main attraction here in Las Vegas and down the road, Henderson, Nevada. You have Dollar Loan Center, Henderson Golden Knights, which is a big part of Las Vegas hockey. One team that I believe doesn't get a lot of stuff to talk about, and a team that I genuinely believe does not get discussed enough, is the ECHL affiliate of your Vegas Golden Knights, and that is the Savannah Ghost Pirates. I mean, when it comes to Savannah Ghost Pirates, they are the brand new ECHL team. They actually were brand new, just brought in this past season. Very recently, the Vegas Golden Knights, their ECHL affiliate, was the Fort Wayne Comets before the Savannah Ghost Pirates showed up. But with the Savannah Ghost Pirates being a brand new ECHL team, with Savannah Ghost Pirates being the new team in town, what is a Savannah Ghost? What do you need to know as a Vegas hockey fan about the Savannah Ghost Pirates, and what connection does it have to Las Vegas? Well, for starters, we have to talk about the history of how they were created. Because the Savannah Ghost Pirates out in Savannah, Georgia, this is an organization that they were announced in May of 2022. This is an organization who signed a one-year contract with the Vegas Golden Knights. Their one-year contract with the Vegas Golden Knights. I also want to keep in mind this is the same Savannah Ghost Pirates that the Vegas Golden Knights have part of their ECHL. The reason why this is so important is because of the two teams in the ECHL same division as Vegas Golden Knights that the Savannah Ghost Pirates play on a constant basis. The Atlanta Gladiators out in Atlanta, Georgia, right in the same state as the Savannah Ghost Pirates, is the AA affiliate of the Arizona Coyotes. The Arizona Coyotes and Vegas Golden Knights not are just in the same conference in the NHL, but they're also in the same division in the AHL and the same division in the ECHL. I also want to point out the Los Angeles Kings. Their ECHL affiliate is the Greenville Swamp Rabbits out there in South Carolina. The Ontario region or their AHL affiliate. So the Vegas Golden Knights and Los Angeles Kings, their rivalry isn't just in the NHL. Their rivalry can even extend to the AHL and the ECHL. Other teams that are in the same division as the Savannah Ghost Pirates with the Vegas Golden Knights. You have the Florida Everblades, which is the affiliate of the Florida Panthers. You have the Jacksonville Icemen, which is the AA affiliate of the New York Rangers. The Orlando Solar Bears, which is the AA affiliate of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And the South Carolina Stingrays, which is the ECHL affiliate of the Washington. So that is a pretty good division to be in if you are a Vegas Golden Knights. If you are a first-year team in the ECHL, that is a division that you are going to be very good and very much a part of. It's very different to what the Vegas Golden Knights were one season ago. I'm wanting to keep this in mind. Their ECHL team in the past year was the Vegas Golden Knights. The Vegas Golden Knights and the Fort Wayne Comets was their ECHL affiliate, and because they played in Indiana and not in Georgia, the teams that they had in their same division was a lot different than it is now. The Fort Wayne Comets were in the Central Division of the ECHL. So the Cincinnati Cyclones, who are the AA affiliate of the Buffalo Sabres, was in their division. The Indianapolis Fuel was a AA affiliate of the Chicago Blackhawks, they were in the same division with Vegas. The Iowa Heartland were in the same division out there with the Minnesota Wild. How about the Kalamazoo Wings, who were the Double A affiliate of the Columbus Blue Jackets? The Toledo Wallets, which was the Double A affiliate of the Detroit Red Wings, and the Wheeling Nailers, Double A affiliate of the Pittsburgh Penguins. So you have a very different situation from one season ago to now with the Vegas Golden Knights. One season ago, the Vegas Golden Knights Double A affiliate had no team from the Pacific Division. They had nobody that was on the same level as the Vegas Golden Knights when it came to rivalries, when it came to, all right, who are we going up against? Who are we competing against? Whereas now you have two teams in the West that are in the same division, not just in the AHL, but in the ECHL as well. So, sticking with the Savannah Ghost Pirates here very quickly, talking about that here on uh, PRConnectedRadio.com, the voice of the media. Their head coach is someone that not only played in the NHL, but this is a guy who has a lot of experience coaching professional hockey. Rick Bennett is the current head coach of the Savannah Ghost Pirates. He was with the Providence College as a player. He eventually played 15 games in the NHL, which hey, is more than all of us have combined. So 15 NHL games, played for the New York Rangers, and accumulated more than 400 games between the IHL and the AHL. So you have a situation where Rick Bennett was a decade-long player in the minor league, had 3 seasons of performance in the NHL, and now he is a head coach in Double A for the Savannah Ghost Pirates. I also want to keep this in mind. Rick Bennett coached Union to a NCAA championship as their head coach. So the Vegas Golden Knights have a former NCAA head coach as their coach in Double A. So on that front, from the organizational perspective, Rick Bennett is established. We also have a team that is brand new, first season, and this is a Savannah Ghost Pirates team that is going up against people in their same division, in their same conference. Now, what has been their record so far in their first season with the Vegas Golden Knights? How have they performed having several players on their team from Vegas? Well, the Savannah Ghost Pirates already in year one, they have played 17 games, have 8 wins, 6 losses, and 3 overtime losses, putting them at 19 points already in the year. Now, to point this out, this is the same Savannah Ghost Pirates who at this point are competing against these teams that are very solid and have good farm systems in the same conference, in the same division. Now, it's still early on in the ECHL season, so there's some time for the Savannah Ghost Pirates to make the Kelly Cup playoff. What I'm curious to see is how the players. I'm curious to see how the talent plays with the Savannah Ghost because they have some good talent with the Savannah Ghost. As a matter of fact, there are certain players I'm talking about on this show. Ian Mack, Ian Mackey, 26-year-old, he played for the Atlanta Gladiators. Now he's with the Savannah Ghost Pirates. They acquired him. He has experience with the Vegas Golden Knights. He played for the Fort Wayne Comets. Now he is over with the Savannah Ghost Pirates. So Ian Mackey is on this team. I also want to mention, for example, Brett Peterson, who is a 27-year-old who's had a long tenured career in the minor league hockey system. And look, there's nothing bad about being a long-term minor league. Not everybody can make the NHL, but if you're someone who can play a lot of games during an entire career, That's something that you can tip your cap on. Something you can say, you know what, I was there, I made it, and I'm currently feeling my good. So Brett Peterson, he's somebody on that organization. You have a veteran in Brock Trotter, who currently is playing for the San Jose Pirates as well. I mentioned this guy on our show very recently when I did my prospect watch for the Savannah Ghost Pirates, and that was Alex Svetlikov. And so far has 7 goals, 15 assists for 22 points on the year for the Savannah Ghost Pirates. This is a guy to watch out for. He's currently 21 years old, playing for the Savannah Ghost Pirates, the double A affiliate of the Vegas Golden Knights. And you know what? If he can continue the pace he is at, 7 goals, 22 points, also 41 penalty minutes, I gotta put in that. Alex Svetlikov could be a good player someday to have in Henderson. Maybe to be a player that you have on the bottom line in the Vegas Golden Knights system a few years. How about we talk about Mike Ferrero? Mike Ferrero, right now, is 26-year-old. This is a guy who is playing for the Savannah Pirates. He's a player that has contributed to that system there. And you also have players like CJ Hayes, who has been in the ECHL, where he beat the Newfoundland Prowlers last season. Now is playing for the San Jose Pirates. Has accumulated a good amount of penalty minutes. So when it comes to the Savannah Ghost Pirates, it's really about the talent that's coming up in that system. And I'm really surprised to see who develops, who doesn't develop. For example, Vincent Marlowe, who is currently 24 years old, he has 11 goals, 25 points in this season for the Savannah Ghost Pirates. This is a guy who last year, when he was with the Tulsa Oilers, had 40 games, 8 goals, and 15 points. So Vincent Marlowe, he has produced for the Savannah Ghost Pirates. I also want to say that when it comes to Lyndon McCollum, who is the 22-year-old on the team, he has 10 points in 19 games and has almost a 20 minutes per game. Currently with the Vegas Golden Knights system, spent some time with the Fort Wayne Comets last year as a result. Now, there are 2 players who were drafted by the Vegas Golden Knights that I want to acknowledge that are part of the Savannah Ghost Pirates team as of right now. The first one is 22-year-old Connor Cochran, who played 26 games this year, had 11 points for the Savannah Ghost Pirates. This is very interesting compared to last year. We had 41 games, 20 goals, and 37 points playing for the Fort Wayne Comets. And Isaiah Seville, who is the goalie right now for the Savannah Ghost Pirates, he is a prospect, someone who was drafted by the Vegas Golden Knights, only 22 years of age. He has spent time between Henderson and time between Savannah. His goals against average a little under 3 and his save percentage around 92%. So Isaiah Seville, Connor Cochran, these are 2 players that are eventually going to develop. They were drafted by the Vegas Golden Knights, so you're going to see a lot from them. Now, what I have to point out with the Savannah Ghost Pirates is if they stay long term with the Vegas Golden Knights. Keep in mind, they signed that 1 year agreement, 1 year contract to be a double A affiliate for your Vegas Golden Knights. So let's say they sign a more long term. I would believe the Savannah Ghost Pirates would be in a well organized and really useful double A affiliate for the Vegas Golden Knights. This is the Savannah Ghost Pirates team that's brand new. They have a good fan base. They are someone who is getting a good amount of organization and community. So I would say for the Double A ECHL Savannah Ghost Pirates, my idea for them is if they stay with the Vegas Golden Knights, I could see a few players down the line be members of the Vegas. I could see a possibility where eventually one day you're going to have a player that has gone to the ECHL and has become a long-term member of the Vegas Golden Knights. I mean, keep in mind, guys like Logan Thompson was an ECHL goalie at one. There are players who came from the ECHL and eventually blossomed into the NHL. Goalies like Wayne Holtby, for example, Stanley Cup champion. He spent some time in the ECHL. How about somebody like Ben Bishop, who was a Stanley Cup final competed multiple times, was from the ECHL. And speaking of the ECHL, I want to do kind of a new segment here on the show, doing a throwback Tuesday, and that would be about the Las Vegas Wranglers of the ECHL, the former affiliate here in Las Vegas. So in the mid 2000s to the mid 2010s, the Vegas Golden Knights, before they were even established, even a possibility, you had the ECHL Vegas equivalent to Las Vegas. Now, Las Vegas Wranglers, they ended up playing at the Orleans Arena when it was being established, being constructed, and developed. This was a Las Vegas Wranglers team that for a solid decade had a die-hard fan base at Orleans Arena. This was a Las Vegas Wranglers organization that for a decade had established veterans like the Ferrero brothers. You also had Mike McBain, Jason McBain. You had Mark Malagrati. There was some good veterans who played for the ECHL, played in Las Vegas, but you also had young players. You had young, up and coming guys in the ECHL who eventually played in the NHL. You had guys like Tyler Stallone. You had players, for example, like Adam Hardy. You had players, for example, like Tyson Streck. There was goalies like Brett Hawk. You know, when you had the Las Vegas Wranglers, there was good young talent that eventually made their way to the NHL, like Adam Track, for example. He was someone. I mean, when you really sit there and compare the ECHL, it's actually fascinating to see a decade later what the biggest hockey team has become. And I also want to point out there is a personnel member of the Vegas Golden Knights who was a Las Vegas Wrangler a decade ago. Mike McKenna was a goaltender with the Las Vegas Wranglers back in 2000. He had spent some time in NHL. He was a split in AHL and the NHL, and is now a member of the Vegas Golden Knights commentary team out there with Mike McKenna. Now, one part that I do have to mention when it comes to the Las Vegas Wranglers back in the day was the affiliation they had with the Calgary. The Calgary Flames was their affiliate for the first 6 seasons of them being franchise. They also had a little bit of a moment with the Phoenix Coyotes at a certain point in time. But the Las Vegas Wranglers, majority of their top prospects, the majority of the players that made the Las Vegas Wranglers successful was with Calgary. And I find that fascinating because the Calgary Flames now are one of the biggest divisional rivals the Vegas Golden Knights have today. I also want to point out that the Las Vegas Rangers still to this day have the highest winning percentage in ECHL history. It's also the same Las Vegas Rangers team that holds 7 ECHL records still to this day. They made 2 appearances in the Kelly Cup Finals, which is the ECHL equivalent of the Stanley Cup Finals. The Las Vegas Wranglers also won the Pacific Division twice, and it's also the same Las Vegas Wranglers that had best local sports team 4 separate times while they were existing. So, what can you take away? What could be something that you could say would be an equivalent, something that you could look back on and say it's a good thing the Las Vegas Wranglers exist? Well, my angle, my opinion on this would be if you didn't have the Las Vegas Raiders, the Vegas Golden Knights most likely wouldn't have. If it wasn't for the Las Vegas Raiders, the popularity and the success that they had, they wouldn't have been on the NHL radar. Because you have to remember, the Las Vegas Thunder was in the 90s, okay? Having the IHL was almost nothing non-existent at a certain time. If you didn't have the Las Vegas Raiders and you didn't have the fanfare it did, the Vegas Golden Knights, you know, most likely would not exist. Because you have to remember that even when the Rangers closed in 2014, and not even a year later, the Vegas Golden Knights started to be put up in conversation. As a matter of fact, looking back at it in hindsight, when they no longer were going to be the ECHL team in 2014, 2015, that was kind of a precursor to the Vegas Golden Knights being a franchise. So without the Las Vegas Wranglers, you most likely don't have the Vegas Golden Knights. But because you have the Vegas Golden Knights, most likely that's why you don't have the Las Vegas Wranglers. It's a cause and effect kind of situation. I also want to say one last part. I want to mention one final part because this was the fact that the Las Vegas Wranglers, they had some pretty good jerseys back. The Las Vegas Wranglers, the red with the black and white outline. I had a Las Vegas Wranglers jersey growing up here in Las Vegas. You know, the mid 2000s, I would go to school wearing my Las Vegas Wranglers jersey. I thought I was, one of the baddest people alive. But when it comes to the Las Vegas Wranglers organization, I gotta point out that they're not only did their jerseys look great, but this is also a team that embraced being bold. This is a Las Vegas Wranglers team that back in the day was more than willing to wear special jerseys. They were more than willing to have special theme nights and put on a show for fans. The first one that I'm going to talk about was they wore a Christmas themed Santa jersey back in December 2010. This was a jersey that many people panned at the time because they thought it was a terrible jersey. They also wore prison themed jerseys back in 2007. I also want to keep in mind this was a Las Vegas Wranglers team that at one point had red and black and white. They eventually transitioned over to black and white and ended their franchise with red and white jerseys. So the interesting part is that they never really had any gold or any silver in their uniform. But now we have the Vegas Golden Knights, which is pretty much all gold everything, and they make everything look like it is sparkle. But yeah, I just wanted to very quickly mention that because the Las Vegas Wranglers, the only thing I remember about it was their special attires they would wear throughout the year. Santa themed jerseys, prison themed jerseys. They had these midnight games that they used to do at the Orleans Arena at 12:05, in the morning. A 10-year-old that shouldn't have been there to begin with was at the Orleans Arena with my mother watching the Las Vegas Wranglers. It was fantastic. My entire point is that when it came to Las Vegas Wranglers, this was an organization that wasn't afraid to be unique. I also want to say during their time period, during the 11 seasons that they existed, the fact that this is a team that only missed the playoffs once in their franchise is remarkable. It absolutely is incredible to think about the fact that this is an organization that only missed the playoffs once in 11 years. The Vegas Golden Knights have missed the playoffs once in 5 years. So maybe this is a trend with Las Vegas. So I also just remembered, by the way, that Derek England was on this team as well. Derek England was a defenseman that eventually was with the Vegas Golden Knights almost a decade later. But yes, he was a part of the Las Vegas Wranglers. You also had, for example, the fact that they were the regular season champion of the ECHL back in 2007. So my entire angle on this, and really to wrap this up, is the Savannah Ghost Pirates, the AA affiliate of the Vegas Golden Knights. They are fantastic to watch. You should better go support them. And when it came to the Las Vegas Wranglers, they were fantastic to watch back in the day. But if you hadn't have had Las Vegas Wranglers, you wouldn't have the Vegas Golden Knights now. And if you didn't have the Las Vegas Wranglers, the Vegas Golden Knights probably wouldn't have become the household name it is today, because you had to have the popularity, you had to have the fanfare, you had to have the success of a AA affiliate that had the highest winning percentage in ECHL history to this day in order to make the Vegas Golden Knights a reality. So, this was a good episode of Vegas Hockey Hub. I just want to point out to everyone watching around the world that we do shows Monday through Friday here on PRConnectionRadio.com, the voice of new media. I also want to give a shout out to all the shows on PR Connections Radio. For example, Cozy Stone, she brings on excellent guests and she talks about some very interesting topics. By the way, I will say that when it comes to pickleball, I'm still researching it. I'm still giving it a shot, Cozy. Give me some time. Also, going to give credit to the Professionals podcast. I watched some of their work. They are putting together some amazing content. So go check out the Professionals podcast. And Shirley, I mean, she's 91 years old, and the fact that she's putting out videos and putting out well quality content, that is incredible. So always give a shout out to Aunt Shirley. Dana, Guy, Edgar, all the people that are alongside PR Connection Radio, I have to give them a shout out. Because if it wasn't for everybody here doing PR Connection Radio, Vegas Hockey Hub, your host Ian Rachiele, it would not exist. So want to appreciate and give a little shout out to everybody here on PRConnectionRadio.com, the voice of new media. So until next time, we're going to have another amazing episode planned ahead of time. But until then, I want to say to everyone watching around the world, go support junior hockey, go watch all hockey, and go Knights, go.